Today we are going to discuss about the lesson by name Environmental Chemistry, which is present in the first year intermediate chemistry. So let us talk about the chapter Environmental Chemistry. The main objective of this chapter is that we have to study about the environmental chemistry, environmental segments, and secondly, the study about the air pollution and discussing about the greenhouse effect, discussing about the acid rains, discussing about the depletion in ozone layer, and thirdly, water pollution, lastly, the soil pollution. Main objective of this chapter is that nowadays the globe is facing lot of problems regarding with the pollution and their consequences. So let us elaborate topic by topic. What is environmental chemistry? What is environmental chemistry? It is the branch of chemistry which deals with the study of the origin, transportation, bad effects, and their propagation of pollutants into the environment. To discuss about the environmental pollution, we have to study some environmental segments. Our environment is composed of 4 segments. Lithosphere, second one is atmosphere, third one is biosphere, and the fourth one is hydrosphere. Lithosphere, that means our earth, our minerals, mountains, rocks, everything comes under this lithosphere. Atmosphere, this is the foremost important segment in our environment. It consists of several gases. The atmosphere is ranging about 500 kilometers from the sea level. The total heat balance on the earth is controlled by atmosphere. That's why it is very important part in our environment. Biosphere, the living things where they are present in water or on the earth or plants, all the living things and plants and water animals belongs to this biosphere. Hydrosphere, the water present in the sea, water present in the lakes, water present in the ponds, and the underground water belongs to this hydrosphere. So in our environment, there will be a natural incumbents among these 4 spheres. Pollution occurs in any spheres among the 4. The bad effects should be faced by the biosphere because we and the living organisms are present in the biosphere. So we have to protect our environment safely without pollution. So let us talk about atmosphere. This atmosphere consists of several parts. Let us see the atmospheric parts. Atmosphere consists of, suppose this is the earth, 0 to 11 kilometers height. from the Earth's surface, troposphere is present. Stratosphere is present from 11 to 50 kilometers of height from the sea level. This is stratosphere. 50 to 85 kilometers from the Earth's surface, mesosphere is present. From 85 to 500 kilometers, thermosphere is present. లిథోస్ఫియర్ అంటే భూమి ఆవరణం, వాతావరణం, జీవావరణం, జలావరణం. ఈ 4 ఆవరణాలు మన ఎన్విరాన్మెంట్లో ఉంటాయి. దీంట్లో ప్రధానమైనది వాతావరణం. వాతావరణాన్ని మనము 4 విభాగాలుగా గుర్తించవచ్చు. భూమి నుండి 11 కిలోమీటర్ల ఎత్తులో ఉన్న ఆవరణాన్ని మనం ట్రోపోస్ఫియర్ అని అంటాము. 11 నుంచి 50 కిలోమీటర్ల ఎత్తులో ఉన్నటువంటి ఆవరణాన్ని స్ట్రాటోస్ఫియర్ అని అంటాము. ఈ స్ట్రాటోస్ఫియర్లోనే ఓజోన్ పొర అనేది ఏర్పడి ఉంటుంది. అది మనల్ని యూవీ కిరణాల నుంచి రక్షిస్తూ ఉంటుంది. 50 నుంచి 85 కిలోమీటర్ల ఎత్తులో మీసోస్ఫియర్ అనే స్ఫియర్ ఉంటుంది. 85 నుంచి 500 కిలోమీటర్ల దూరంలో థర్మోస్ఫియర్ ఉంటుంది. Let us have one question on the environmental segments. Which environmental segment is closer to the earth? Then the answer is troposphere. Let us have one more question. In which environmental segment the living organisms are present? Answer is biosphere. When we talk about the questions in the atmospheric parts, the sound propagation will not take place in which atmospheric part? In which atmospheric part sound propagation will not take place? The answer is mesosphere. And let's have a look on one more question. Birds belongs to which environmental segments? Answer is biosphere. Before going to study the air pollution, let us have a look on the terms involved in the environmental chemistry. Pollutant, which is present in the environment than its natural abundance and creates adverse effects on the human beings, is known as pollutant. Pollutants are of 2 types: primary pollutants, secondary pollutants. Primary pollutants such as ozone, such as NO, CO. They are produced by the interaction between the elements. Whereas secondary pollutants, they are produced by the interaction of primary pollutants. For example, NO combines with oxygen, gives NO2. So, NO2 is the secondary pollutant. Next term in the environmental chemistry is contaminant. The substance which is not present in the nature but grown up in larger quantities due to human activity and shows adverse effects on the human beings. That is known as contaminant. For example, peroxyacetyl nitrate peroxyacetyl nitrate. It is not present in the nature initially. Due to human activity, it was developed. Similarly, gamaxin. Gamaxin. It is also an example for contaminant. Receptor. The medium which is affected by the pollutant is called receptor. For example, if you are going in the city traffic, the dust particles will blown in the air, then the receptor is your eyes. The receptors for poisonous gas is lungs. Sink. This is the medium which retains and which reacts with the pollutant and converting into useful substance. That is called sink. The carbon dioxide exerted from us and exerted from automobiles is absorbed by the green plants as well as the sea water. So, sink for carbon dioxide is sea water. Dead animals, dead bodies is microorganisms. The fifth term is speciation. Speciation. The classification of pollutants into organic or inorganic classes of compounds. For example, PAN is an organic pollutant. Mercury, lead are inorganic pollutants. TLV, threshold limit value. It is a measure of industrial pollution. The minimum level of toxic pollutants. An industrial worker is allowed to work for 8 hours in a day without any harmness to his health. Then that level of pollutants in the air is known as threshold limit value. The threshold limit value exceeds, then that pollutant is very harmful to the mankind. So, lesser the threshold limit value, greater will be the toxicity of that pollutant. Dissolved oxygen, DO. Potable drinking water, DO value should be 4 to 6 milligrams per liter. So, greater the DO value, greater will be the purity. COD, chemical oxygen demand. The amount of oxygen required to oxidize the organic matter present in the given water sample is known as COD. COD is nothing but number of milligrams of O2 for 1 liter of water sample. COD value is calculated by using this expression. Greater the COD, greater will be the water pollution. And lastly, BOD, biochemical oxygen demand. The amount of oxygen required by the microorganisms for their survival for 5 days at 20 degrees centigrade is known as BOD. If the BOD value exceeds than 17 ppm, that is highly polluted water. The BOD value of general municipal sewage is nearly 4000 to 100 ppm. One of the questions is 4 water samples A, B, C, D have COD values 10 ppm, 20 ppm, 40 ppm and 80 ppm. Which water sample is more polluted? As we know, COD value is directly proportional to water pollution. So, here the D sample is having highest COD. So, it is highly polluted water. The order of extent of pollution among these 4 samples is D is more polluted since COD value is more. After that C is greater than B, greater than A. Sometimes they will ask question on TLV. The TLV values of 4 gases A, B, C, D, 4 gases are 9 ppm, 12 ppm, 50 ppm and 100 ppm. Which is more toxic pollutant among these 4? As I said earlier that TLV value is less, then it is very dangerous pollutant. So, lesser the TLV value, greater will be its toxic effect. So, TLV value of A is less, that is why the toxicity nature of A is more. A is poisonous pollutant, then B, then C, then D. In this way, questions will be asked on these terms. Let us talk about classification of environmental pollution. Basically, environmental pollution is broadly divided into atmospheric pollution, that means air pollution, water pollution and soil pollution. The air pollution is of 2 kinds, tropospheric pollution, stratospheric pollution. We know that in troposphere, gases like carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, nitric oxide, these pollutant gases when present, they create bad effects on the air and our environment. So, in tropospheric pollution, we have to discuss about the greenhouse effect, acid rain and smog. These 3 hazards we have to discuss in tropospheric pollution. In the stratospheric pollution, in the stratosphere, ozone gas is mainly present. Ozone layer is very important part for the environment. So, the stratospheric pollution deals with the study of ozone layer and its depletion. When come to the water pollution, what are the causes and bad effects of this water pollution can be studied. In soil pollution, how the soil pollution occurs and what are the effects of this soil pollution. So, these 3 types of pollutions we have to study. Air pollution. The main air pollutants are oxides of sulfur, oxides of nitrogen, oxides of carbon, particulate pollutants. These are the major air pollutants. When you talk about the oxides of sulfur, the oxides of sulfur are mainly produced due to volcanic eruption or burning of sulfur or from factories. These are the main source of sulfur dioxide. This sulfur dioxide further oxidizes to give sulfur trioxide. So, these 2 gases shows adverse effects on the human beings. Let us see the effects of sulfur oxides. Due to sulfur dioxide, diseases like asthma, bronchitis occurs in human beings. So it mainly affects the lungs of the human beings. And when we talk about the another effect of sulfur dioxide, it is eye irritant and results tears and redness. When we talk about the sulfur dioxide and its effect, it mainly affects the limestone and marble when it reacts with water. So the sink for sulfur dioxide is marble, that means calcium carbonate. So the sulfur dioxide can destroy the building materials and it corrodes the iron and steel. It's having good bleaching property so that it decolors the fabrics and paper, etc. So decoloration effect is shown by sulfur dioxide. So these are the bad effects of sulfur dioxide in our atmosphere. Source and effect of nitrogen oxides. Generally, the nitrogen have several oxides. They are NO and NO2. These two are only toxic pollutants. Remaining oxides of nitrogen like N2O5, N2O3, they are not pollutants. Only NO and NO2 are the toxic pollutants. NO is mainly produced into the environment from the burning of fossil fuels from jet planes. And this NO combines with oxygen, gives nitrogen dioxide, and it pollutes the environment. Let us see the effects of nitrogen oxides to the environment. Nitrogen oxide is the basic reason for the acid rains, and nitrogen dioxide gives red hazel in the heavy congested traffic areas. If you look at the NO, it is also toxic pollutant. It reacts with the blood and it reduces the oxygen carrying capacity. NO severely affects the tissues of plants and they damages the plant tissues and they reduce the rate of photosynthesis in the plants. Let us have a look. Oxides of carbon. Oxides of carbon. Carbon oxides, that is carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide, are mainly produced from the fumes of automobiles. Carbon monoxide is mainly produced due to microbial process. Carbon monoxide is produced due to partial combustion of carbon or coal. This carbon monoxide is a very dangerous toxic pollutant. When we inhale carbon monoxide, it reacts with the blood and forms a 𝗂𝗽𝗆𝗺𝗔𝗃, which is 300 times stable than oxyhemoglobin, so that blood loses its oxygen carrying capacity. As a result, the human beings will die. If the level of carbon monoxide in the atmosphere increases than 750 ppm, then the human beings will die in few hours. If it exceeds than 1000 ppm, immediate death takes place. So this is carbon monoxide. Identification is difficult because it is colorless, poisonous, toxic gas. This carbon monoxide combines with oxygen, gives carbon dioxide, which is also one of the reasons for the acid rains. Let us have a look on the particulate pollutants. Particulate pollution, the environment consists of lot of dust particles, smoke, fog and other carbon soot particles. All these creates photochemical smog and also classical smog. So, due to particulate pollution, we will see the smog formation. Smog is of two kinds: classical smog and photochemical smog. Smoke plus fog means smog. When we talk about the classical smog, it is formed in the cool areas. Formed in the cool areas. It is a mixture of sulfur dioxide and fog. This sulfur dioxide is having reducing ability, so classical smog is reducing in nature. When we talk about the photochemical smog, it is formed in the hot areas in a sunny hot day. Photochemical smog is formed because of the unsaturated hydrocarbons, nitric oxide and ozone. These three components, when interact with the fog, it occurs as photochemical smog. Due to this photochemical smog, eye irritation and loss of vision for truck drivers on the roads occurs. So, greenhouse effect or global warming. Why the name greenhouse effect is used for global warming? Let us see. Let us develop a best concept on this. Visible rays are coming. Your car is parking at one place. The visible rays enters through this glass, and it when touches on the interior of the car, the heat will be produced in the form of infrared radiation. The car windows, that means the glass windows, can only allow visible rays because wavelength of visible rays is less when compared with the wavelength of infrared rays. Once the visible rays enters into the car, the heat, that means infrared rays which are generated inside, is not go outside because this glass will not allow to go outside because of the higher wavelength of infrared rays. As a result, your car is so hot inside. So let us have a look on one more slide to develop why greenhouse effect term was used for the global warming. In this slide, in cold places like London, the flowers, vegetables, fruits are grown in glass covered houses like this. These are all glass covered houses. They are called greenhouses. Since the glass is very transparent for visible rays and it is not allows the infrared rays formed inside this greenhouse. Infrared rays are nothing but the heat developed inside the house. The heat is in the form of infrared rays. So that is how the sun radiation is trapped and utilized by the interior parts for the growing of the plants. So this technique was used in the olden days to trap the sunlight and for the cultivation of the plants like vegetables and fruits in these greenhouses. So in cold areas, the heat is, solar heat is utilized in these greenhouses. Because of that reason, the global warming is also known as greenhouse effect. Global warming or greenhouse effect. The progressive warming up of the earth's surface due to the pollutants is known as a greenhouse effect or global warming. Suppose This is the earth surface. This is the sun. The visible rays enters and falls on the earth surface, and some heat energy will be produced on the earth surface. If we talk about the troposphere, this is the troposphere. In troposphere, greenhouse affecting gases like carbon dioxide, chlorofluorocarbons, water vapor, methane, all these are present in the troposphere. These gases behaves like the glass window in the car, as I said previously. The carbon dioxide mainly, it allows the visible rays only, it won't allow to pass infrared rays. That's why the visible rays coming out from the sun strikes the earth surface and heat will be produced. Say heat is nothing but infrared rays. These are visible rays. This infrared ray will not thrown out from the troposphere, just it is circulating, infrared rays are circulating around the globe like this. As a result, the earth temperature will be raised from day by day. The progressive warming of the earth surface because of the greenhouse affecting gases. What are greenhouse affecting gases? Carbon dioxide, methane, chlorofluorocarbons, water vapor, ozone, and nitrogen oxide. These are the greenhouse affecting gases. They forms like a blanket around the earth in the troposphere. They absorb the visible light and it does not allow the infrared rays, so that the infrared rays, which are very hot, will be circulated on the globe. As a result, global temperature increases. Let us see what are the effects of global warming. Melting of ice caps in the polar region takes place. As a result of this, the sea level will increase, the low down areas will be submerged. Due to global warming, unwanted rains, storms will occur. Due to this global warming, diseases like malaria, cholera, type of seasonal diseases will be propagated because of global warming. For every 3% of carbon dioxide increasement, the global warming enormously increases. So, how to control the global warming? Minimizing the usage of the automobiles, vehicles, and forestation. And one more thing to stop the global warming is don't deforestation. Let us discuss about the acid rains. The pH of the rainwater is 5.6. The pH of normal water is 7, whereas pH of rainwater is less than 7, that is 5.6. Why? This is because the carbon dioxide gas present in the atmosphere combines with water, gives carbonic acid. This carbonic acid gives more H plus ions to the water. Because of this more number of H plus ions in water, rainwater pH is less than 7, that is 5.6. The rainwater whose pH is less than 5.6 is called acid rain. How this acid rain occurs? Let us see. The exhaust fumes of industries mainly contains sulfur dioxide, nitrogen oxides. The fumes which are coming out from the factories contains these gases. These gases further oxidized to their higher oxides and dissolves in water and occurs as acid rains. Suppose sulfur dioxide combines with oxygen and water, forms sulfuric acid. Nitric oxide further oxidizes and dissolves in water, occurs as nitric acid. So, in this way, the acids present in the rain decrease the pH of the rainwater and occurs as this acid rains. Acid rains. Let us talk about the effects of acid rains. Let us have a look on the slide. If you see the effect of acid rains is harmful for agriculture, trees and plants. It washes away all the nutrients in the plants. So the plants becomes like this. Acid rain damages the historical buildings like Taj Mahal because they are built with marble. Marble is nothing but limestone. Limestone reacts with acid rain and forms calcium sulfate. So the beauty of Taj Mahal is deteriorating because of acid rains. And respiratory alignments in human beings and animals occurs because of acid rains. The aquatic animals and plants will die and they disturb the ecosystem. Acid rain mainly corrodes the water pipelines and they corrodes the metals. So these are the effects of acid rain. Till now we have learned about the tropospheric pollution. Let us have a look on the stratospheric pollution. Stratospheric. If you are talking about stratospheric pollution, mainly depletion of ozone layer. We have to talk about depletion of ozone layer. Ozone layer is present in the stratosphere. The pollutants such as chlorofluorocarbons, which are released from the old AC machines and old refrigerators, and the nitric oxide produced from the jet planes will affect the ozone layer which is present in the stratosphere. In this is the troposphere and this is the stratosphere. The UV rays coming from the sun is stopped by the ozone layer. So, when ozone is present in the stratosphere, it is our friend. When the ozone comes into the troposphere, it is our enemy. So, the main role of ozone layer is that it stops the UV rays. Because of human activity, chlorofluorocarbons like CF2Cl2 takes up sunlight and forms radicals. The chloride radical combines with the ozone molecule present in the ozone layer, forms another radical. There the ozone becomes O2. Thus obtained ClO radical reacts with nascent oxygen gives one more chloride radical to give oxygen. In this way, all the ozone layer is depleting day-to-day life because of this fluorochlorocarbons. Thus liberated chloride radical again depletes the ozone molecule. In this way, a chain reaction takes place. A single chloride radical will destroy millions of ozone molecules. Because of this depletion of ozone layer, severe effects will take place. Let us have a look on the effect of the depletion of the ozone layer. Because of depletion in ozone layer, the UV rays coming out from the sun directly enters into the troposphere through stratosphere and falls on the skin of the human beings like this. Because of the depletion of ozone layer, aging of skin takes place. If it falls on the eyes, cataract of eyes, sunburns, it leads to skin cancer, and UV rays directly falls on the aquatic animals. They damage the fish productivity and all. So, ozone layer should be protected, that should be protected forever. Let us have a look on the water pollution. Till now we discussed about the air pollution, which is also very important, and most of the students will neglect the rest of the part, that is water pollution and also soil pollution. For examination point of view, every student has to read more number of times on this water and soil pollutions, that will give more marks in the competitive examinations. Let us have a look on water pollution, how it occurs and what are the bad effects of water pollution. The main water pollutants are: number 1, microorganisms; number 2, organic waste; number 3, plant nutrients; number 4, toxic heavy metals; number 5, sediments; number 6, pesticides; number 7, radioactive substances and heat. How these pollutants will enter into the water? Microorganisms will enter into the water from the domestic sewage. The sewage water, when enters into the lakes or rivers, that lake river water will be polluted due to these organisms and its development. Domestic waste and animal waste and factories waste, all these waste contains mainly organic waste. They enters into the water and damage the ecosystem. Chemical fertilizers used in the fields gives the plant nutrients. These plant nutrients enters into the water, and enormous growth of seaweeds will take place. As a result, eutrophication of lake takes place. The waste from chemical factories and industries contains lot of toxic heavy metals. They are carcinogenic, and the mining, erection of soil and erection of agriculture, they produce sediments. These sediments enters into the lake, the drying up of lake takes place. And in the agriculture sector, weeds to kill the weeds, insecticides, fungicides and other herbicides are used. Those are nothing but pesticides, that is also creating water pollution. So, mining of uranium containing minerals produces radioactive substances into the water, and it severely affects the human beings. When we talk about international standard of drinking water, the drinking water must be potable, it must be freed from fluorides, lead, sulfate and nitrates and some other metals like iron, manganese, aluminum, zinc, etc. These metals and all these ingredients, when present in water, it damages the human beings in many ways. So, the fluoride ion concentration in the water should be less than 1 ppm, that is fit for drinking. If fluoride ion concentration greater than 3 ppm, then mottling of teeth takes place. The lead is also very dangerous pollutant, water pollutant. The acceptable level of lead in the water is up to 50 ppb, parts per billion. Due to lead poisoning in the water, the cancer type of diseases will occur. And another water pollutant is sulfate. Sulfate acceptable level is 500 ppm. If it exceeds then 500 ppm, 𝗧-𝗦𝗔𝗧 effects takes place. 𝗧-𝗦𝗔𝗧 effects takes place. And another water pollutant is nitrates. The nitrates concentration exceeds than 50 ppm, then a disease by name 𝗵𝗶𝗍 syndrome occurs. 𝗵𝗶𝗍 syndrome occurs because of nitrate ion. And the maximum concentration of various metals like iron, manganese, aluminum, according to the international norms, is iron must be present up to 0.2, manganese 0.05, aluminum 0.02, copper 3, zinc 5, cadmium 0.005 ppm or magnesium per decimeter cube. This is the maximum concentration of all these metals should be present. If exceeds than these values, that water is very dangerous to the human beings. Let me talk about the soil pollution, which is the third most important pollution. Soil pollution is mainly caused by fertilizers. Suppose fertilizers are used, that fertilizers enters into the soil and it shows adverse effects. And pesticides used in the agriculture like insecticide, fungicide, herbicides, they also spoil the soil. Industrial waste, when enters into the soil, the fertility of the land will be damaged. The most important questions can be asked from soil pollutions is, which soil is best fit for production of high food grains? Answer is loam soil. Loam soil is the best soil. And nowadays, in the place of edrin and gamexin, which pesticides are used? That is also another important question. Nowadays, sodium chlorate and sodium arsenate, sodium chlorate and sodium arsenate are used nowadays instead of old pesticides. When we talk about wastewater management and all this will controls the pollution everywhere. Waste management should be done. They should be collected in different tins, and they should be carried over, and they should be recycled. Collection and separation and recycling of waste will reduce the pollution to a little extent. So, to control the pollution, solid waste management should be done. Let us talk about the green chemistry in our day-to-day life. Being a citizen, we have to control the pollution in all its forms. Being a citizen, you have to follow the guidelines given by green chemistry. The main objective of this green chemistry is, in every domestic holders, they use cleaning of clothes. During cleaning of clothes, olden days, they will use dichloroethylene. It is a very toxic pollutant to the environment. So, instead of using this tetrachloroethylene, detergents and CO2 should be used to improve the green chemistry. In the olden days, chlorine is used for bleaching of the paper and clothes. But as per green chemistry norms, H2O2 and catalysts being used. And being a scientist, the scientists have to develop techniques without byproducts. For example, if you wanted to prepare acetaldehyde, you have to follow single step without any byproducts. Ethylene reacts with oxygen in presence of palladium, gives directly acetaldehyde without byproducts. ఈ ఎన్విరాన్మెంటల్ కెమిస్ట్రీలో మనం ఎయిర్ పొల్యూషన్ కంటే ఎక్కువగా వాటర్ పొల్యూషన్, సాయిల్ పొల్యూషన్ అండ్ ఇండస్ట్రియల్ వేస్ట్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ అండ్ గ్రీన్ కెమిస్ట్రీ కనుక ఎక్కువ పర్యాయాలు మీరు టెక్స్ట్ బుక్లో క్వశ్చన్స్ చదివినట్టయితే అది మన కాంపిటేటివ్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్స్కి వాటి నుంచి ఎక్కువ ప్రశ్నలు అనేవి అడగటం జరుగుతుంది. సో మెయిన్లీ కాన్సన్ట్రేట్ ఆన్ ద వాటర్ అండ్ సాయిల్ పొల్యూషన్ ఫర్ కాంపిటేటివ్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్. For intermediate point of view, concentrate on air pollution.